Good evening and welcome to the High Performance Show with me, Kamir Arjun, where we showcase ordinary South Africans living extraordinary lives. Today's special guest is Georgia Grobler, a master's in food science student, as well as a formidable South African triathlete. Georgia, in the very short time that she's been in the sport of triathlon, has achieved some amazing things, such as in 2019 qualifying for half Ironman World Championships, as well as the Olympic Distance Championships, and placing 17th in her age group, as well as 7th at the Olympic distance respectively. And when it comes to Euro Champs racing, she has placed first in her age group in the off-road triathlon series. And actually quite recently now in 2022, she has raced the Leiden Half Marathon, as well as the Verberg Half Marathon, and has achieved a time of 1:17 and 1:18 respectively. This is fantastic. Georgia, welcome to our show and thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks, Kamir. Thanks for having me. Really cool to be on the show.
Thank you. So Georgia, please tell us, how did it all begin?
So I guess I've been pretty competitive my whole life. I grew up with an older brother, and we kind of spurred each other on. All through school, I played hockey. That was my main sport, and I wanted to carry on with that. At the end of my school career, I got the chance or the opportunity to go to California to play hockey, but I decided to rather stay in South Africa, which I'm really happy about. So I ended up at Stellenbosch University and was studying food science, and that was a 4-year degree. For the first 2 years of university, I played for the Marty's first team, which absolutely loved, met incredible people, learned a lot of discipline. We used to train, I think, 9 or 10 times a week in a 7-day week. In the end of my second year, I decided that I needed to do something different. I love to run, and my brother and my dad cycled. So I thought, why not start triathlons? So I signed up to do the half Ironman in South Africa. So I signed up in August, and the race was in January. So I had a few months to prepare. I don't think I'd ever swum more than 400 meters. That was what I was most afraid of, and I didn't own a bike. I decided I knew I could run. So that came easily. And then my brother and dad took me out on cycles, borrowed their bikes that were way too big for me. And then I started swimming slowly but surely. So I trained really hard. I got a program from the internet. And so by the time January came, I borrowed a bike to do the half Ironman, and I ended up coming third in my age group, which qualified me to go to World Champs, which was in Nice in France that year in September. So at that stage, I was still going to go back to hockey, but after qualifying, I was like, okay, well, let's give it a year and see what happens. And then so then I bought a bike for myself because I thought it's a good investment to make, and really loved training. I made some really good friends that I think I could relate to a lot more than I could with my hockey friends. Very outdoorsy people, very similar minded to me, love to be in nature and go on adventures. So that really urged me to go further. So then I did SA Champs in March that year, and then I ended up winning that and getting into the World Champs in Lausanne in Switzerland. and that was a week apart from the Nice World Champs, so it fit perfectly. So Europe, and so very much newbies on the block. My dad's more competitive than my mom. My mom's biggest worry when I went into races was that I had enough sunblock on. My dad had a bit more of that competitive edge.
Yes.
One of the fondest memories I have of the World Champs in Nice is because obviously a half Ironman is about 4 or 5 hours, and my parents didn't see me once. They were so confused by the course that they missed me at every single turn. So yeah, and then after that, I concentrated on my studies for a little bit, and then I decided at the end when I graduated that I would take a year to just train and race, see where my potential lied. I wanted to race in Europe, just join a club. But then, in my first race for SA Champs, I was registered as an elite. So it was a big race for me to try prove myself on the South African scene. And I ended up collapsing 400 meters to the finish line. And I didn't know what was happening. I thought I'd finish the race at least. But I got diagnosed with myocarditis, and they said I couldn't race or train or anything for I think 6 weeks. And then after that, then I had to do a whole lot more tests and to see if I could train again. So it was a very slow process, and I didn't ever think they told me that I might not ever be able to race again. Definitely not get my heart rate up in the next 6 months or so. So it was a bit of a weird time for me. I'd always had a plan, been busy with academics and with with sport, and then I suddenly had nothing to do during the day. So really weird time for me. So I ended up applying for master's degrees and got into my first choice, which was health food innovation management in Netherlands. So I moved in September and absolutely loving the degree and definitely the right choice. But after my heart thing, I decided that elite sport wasn't for me. I'd rather have an academic career and be a competitive age group athlete, which I think suits me a lot more because it's a lot of pressure to be a full professional triathlete. Your body is your equipment, and that can, as I've seen, is very vulnerable. So I've done a few races, like you said in the intro, in Europe, and actually, it's been an incredible experience. Very weird not having the support system that I have in South Africa. I'd always had my parents at every race. No, my parents, not my fans. I don't have fans.
You've got a lot of fans, Georgia. I'm a big fan.
Thanks, Kamir. So that's a short summary of me, I guess.
You know what I found amazing is the fact that you've had so much energy and passion to enter that first triathlon, and then when you made world championships, how did that feel? Did that switch, did it sink in, because here you were in this new sport, different people, new vibe, and next thing, hang on, top 3 in your age group. How did that feel? I've got so much to ask you. This is just amazing.
I was so exhausted. I was so shattered. When I had to walk onto the podium, I couldn't even step onto the level because my body had fused up. So I wasn't really thinking anything about world champs. I didn't even know that when you did races, you could qualify for world champs. So I mean, I hadn't even got a license yet for triathlon. So I was so oblivious. So when it happened, I was just like, oh, okay, well, I get to travel to Nice. I've never been to Nice. So it wasn't like it was an expectation, or it kind of, I hadn't thought about it. So it just came about.
And I mean, you've done yourself proud, you've done your family proud, and everyone can see the hard work you've put in. I mean, personally, the viewers don't know this, but I used to also go to the Marty's pool and train with the Marty squad there. But I used to always see you there doing the miles, either swim, bike, or running, and even on Strava. So you've worked exceptionally hard from there to get to where you are. And, it's really, really commendable. And I was following your story when the SA Champs happened. And I was very heart sore for you. Because I know Ben was there. Ben is your boyfriend, and you both were competing, and then disaster struck.
Yeah.
And I was really sad for you. And I just wanted to know, in that moment, you had these dreams, you had these goals, these aspirations. What was your mindset like, and how did you overcome that adversity? Especially since you put so much time and heart and soul into your sport, and you qualified as an elite, and you were going to race there. How did you get yourself back to racing again?
I mean, I don't even like racing that much, to be honest. I get really nervous, and I actually, every time I am going to race, I say, why do I do this to myself? Because I really don't enjoy it. It's only afterwards or during the race that I actually enjoy it. The hardest thing for me was not training and not being active, because that's really what I enjoy. Going on long cycles with my dad and with Ben, it's a lot of enjoyment in my life comes from the training that I do. The races are kind of just something that I use to have an excuse to train. But I guess what was difficult is when you put something in so much work. I'd done so much planning to do well in this race, and kind of to have it taken away from you when you think everything is fine, and it's not, you feel like it's not even your fault, is just out of your control. But I think, the most devastating part was not being able to do what I love for 3 months, and having to find other enjoyment in other things, which was a learning experience in itself. And I guess I don't regret that as well. Definitely taught me to appreciate your body, and appreciate that what I do and what I love to do.
And has that sort of shaped your decision then to sort of chase the age group level more and focus more on living, as opposed to just, going tunnel vision into pro? Because a big problem that can happen, and not just in the sport of triathlon, but I know, because I work with a lot of high performers in business or in other aspects of life, where the goal consumes the person to the extent that they develop tunnel vision. They have to make CEO, they have to pass this exam, and everything in life takes a back seat besides the goal. And then once they get there, they realized, was it really worth it? Did I miss out on a lot of things? Do you ever feel like in life you want to just soak it up and live without regret? What is your take on that?
Yeah, I suppose it is easy to have tunnel vision, and sometimes, like, I feel like I have so many distractions in my life. I don't know what to really focus on. So I guess that stops me from having the tunnel vision, because I have all these other spread outs coming from the tunnel. But yeah, I'm someone who has always been, my mom lives a very balanced life, and she's always kept me in perspective. Because she knows that I'm so driven in academics and in sport. And she used to force me to stop working and to go outside and go to my friends and stuff, which is not usual for a teenager. My mom was very different from other parenting styles around me, because she knew that I worked hard towards things. So she taught me that a balanced lifestyle is definitely something to have. So I've always made that a priority. Friends are a big part of my life, and I try make the time for that. So I don't think ever I would completely go tunnel vision, but I can see the appeal of it, because when you are training hard, you sometimes so tired you don't want to do anything else, and then you have your friends doing fun things that maybe you don't have the time to do, etc. And then you can get caught up with just, oh, okay, well, I'm an athlete, I'm just going to train. So yeah, I mean, especially now in Netherlands, I don't have that many friends in that I train with. Most of my friends are actually just from my course that yeah, that don't train as hard as me. So it's always kept in that balance, which I love, because I hardly talk about exercise. Whereas in South Africa, you know, we talk about stats, and FTP tests, and
Yeah.
your pace of this and your stats.
Yeah.
And here, if I have to say any stats, then no one would understand me. So yeah, just having a normal life has been really enjoyable as well. And people don't really know me as an athlete. It's just I do a lot of exercise, which I like being under the radar rather than being being known as something else.
Yes. No, that's fantastic. And I mean, you know, what I really liked was that you emphasized balance. And, you know, I'm a big fan of holistic well-being. That's something that I've made a core value of mine. So to give our viewers some perspective, what does your day look like? Do you follow a set structure, or do you sort of go with the flow as long as you get the big principles in? Yeah, could you give us some insight into that, please?
I'm definitely not a go with the flow kind of person at all. My life is very planned.
Yes.
I guess that comes with trying to fit everything in. So basically, yeah, you talked about Ben earlier, but Ben is my boyfriend. But also, when after I had my heart thing, then I decided to stop with my coach, and he offered to train me, and it's been working really well. So every week on Sundays, he writes a program with me, and we discuss how my academics look, how my social life looks, when can I fit in the trainings, and so week by week I know my schedule for training. And then I'm also au pairing at the moment in Netherlands, so I work 3 or 4 days a week. Yeah, so generally I'll wake up at 5 in the morning, do exercise, then take the kids, well, get the kids ready for school and take them to school. And then I normally have class or do my own studies. Then I'll pick the kids up from school, play with them a little bit, and then yeah, do my second session of the day, work a little bit more, or yeah, go to sleep early. But then obviously the social aspects come in, and that's randomly. Weekends, I normally do a long run on Saturday and a long cycle on Sunday, but yeah, normally have some friend time and also just chill time, or just catching up with work that I've been neglecting the rest of the week. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty basic, but that's my day to day.
No, I like it. I like it. I also like to follow a, you know, account for each hour of the day in a way, just
Yeah.
so that I know I get my sleep training in, you know, reading, writing, reflecting. I just find that it gives me peace of mind as well. Some of my friends like to go with the flow, but it just makes me uncomfortable. I just find that if I can manage my time like my money, and I know exactly how I spend every second, then at least I have a bit of comfort that I'm getting the main things in, and then I have some
Yeah,
planned you know, some planned downtime just to keep the balance. Um,
yeah, that's important.
and I mean, on this, you know, I've been thinking about it. You know, you've said you've got a support structure, and you spoke about your family, and you spoke about Ben. Um, and you know, you spoke about the fact that Ben helps you with your training plan. So your development as a person and as an athlete, do you think that, you know, um, that support structure has been integral to your overall well-being?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. You are what you are brought up as, I guess. So I definitely was taught I was given a lot of independence from when I was very young to just do what I believed in. I could have whatever hairstyle I wanted. I cut my hair like a boy. I
Yes.
I was given the freedom to do what I want within reason, of course. But I always knew I had the support of my parents. I know when I gave up hockey, my dad was devastated because he was a rugby player in his day. And then
Yes.
when I played hockey, he had to learn all the rules about hockey and try to understand. And he would spend hours analyzing games so that he could help me in developing as a player. And we used to go to the AstroTurf every Sunday and train for hours, just me and him. And he had no background in hockey. He actually got pretty good. He got his own hockey stick and we used to play. But when I gave up hockey, he was devastated. But then he supported me in triathlons, and now I think he's quite happy that I cycle with him as well. And my mom, just as I said before, she's just the level-headed, calm figure in my life that doesn't understand sport and doesn't understand competitiveness. So that's been amazing. My brother, he's as sporty as me, but not competitive in the slightest. So he's way more naturally talented than me. I'll give him that. He can pick up a sport so easily, but put the hours in, no. I'm better at that than him. So just having that perspective, and I know that whatever I do, they will be happy with. They supported me 100% coming to Netherlands. It's very tough for them. I mean, they love having me in South Africa, but they know that it's best for me.
Yes.
And in terms of Ben, he's also super supportive of what I want to do, and respectful of where I want to race, or balancing the boyfriend coach. I mean, it's not a usual relationship, but like, it doesn't ever feel like he's my coach. It probably makes me listen to the program better, just so that we don't have any conflict in our relationship. But I mean, I love training with him. I really miss that he's not with me at the moment. He's my best training partner I could ask for. But so a lot of solo training sessions at the moment till we get back together. But I think a support structure is definitely needed. You can't do this alone. Definitely not. Sometimes you have really bad days where you think, oh, why am I doing all of this? Is it really worth waking up at 5:30 in the morning to go do an easy ride for 2 hours, and you come back and it's still dark?
Yes.
There's moments like that where you just need someone to say, hey, it is worth it, just get on with it. Winters in Europe are something that is very different from South Africa, so I've had to learn that the hard way as well. But yeah.
And I mean, on this wonderful journey of yours, what would you say are the 3 most important lessons you've learned that have helped you in life as well?
Tricky. Definitely the first one is to appreciate what you have when you have it. Because life is very fragile. And then second is to make the most of everything that you get, every opportunity that you get. And third is just don't take yourself too seriously. Everyone has their ups and downs, and you can learn something from everyone. Don't ever think that someone is lesser of you. You can always learn someone from something. So
Right.
I'll say that.
That's such a wonderful outlook you've got. It's so positive. It's full of energy, and it's really amazing and refreshing to see. So
Thanks,
I really enjoy that. And I mean, if we have viewers here or fans who have been inspired by you, right? And we've got your details on how to contact you on social media. But let's say there is a young lady out there who wants to go on the same kind of path as you. What words of wisdom would you have for them?
I guess if it's meant to be, it will be work as hard as you can. Because like if something that you want, then you must go for it and work as hard as you can, because yeah, I strongly believe is the time that you put in is what you get out. There's no point in making excuses, especially with the solo sport like triathlons. It's not gonna, you won't get away with it. It's all on you. And that's what I like about it. Hockey, there's too many variables. You can have an off match and you train super hard and you don't get the ball in the match at all. Whereas
Right.
triathlon is very much more, I mean, you can have off days, of course, but it's much more the time that you put in is what you get out.
That is fantastic. And it's very wise words. You have to hold yourself accountable, and it's that self-discipline that will ultimately, yield the biggest results, not just in sport, but in life, right? That focus, that commitment, and that self-discipline. That is fantastic. Georgia Grobler, I really thank you for your time, and to all our viewers as well. Thank you so much for attending this show. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and we will post Georgia's details on the blog, so you can reach out to her and follow her on the social media and watch her journey as she continues to live her best life. Thank you, and all the best.